It's going and
Onward ho!
and we're live.
Or
Oh,
not
wait.
really live,
Oh,
but
no,
yeah,
everybody-
on video now.
Oh,
So,
hey.
we
There
can't
we are.
even-
So now we can all see everybody. Everybody wave to the
Hello!
Oh, we don't have intro music. I don't know what happened to it, man.
Yeah.
But I guess I forgot.
Well,
But we have the
we don't even
business is music.
Yes.
Music.
Now they can see how bad we are.
And they can see us with masks.
Yeah.
Masks are always,
mask up, everybody.
100%.
So, except when you're drinking coffee, it's more important, right?
kind of have to.
Okay, Johnny.
So we can't even say we're back because this is actually the first time we have this extremely high definition setup going on where people can actually see us and see who's talking the shit. Because
By the way,
We're
shout out to
talking shit.
DB, man. He set all this up. Woo, baby.
this is
That's
a
what I
lot
do,
of
man.
work, and that's kind of leading into our topic of discussion. But thank you, DB. This all looks so
Yeah.
sick.
Round of applause for
Like,
DB. Woo!
hell yes. The crowds in the internets are going wild.
Wild.
Absolutely wild.
We'll do the key press on crowd.
Well, now they know who to yell at if I screw up. So there's that too.
No, that was the intern. There's an intern you guys can't see.
Right.
So-
Hey, intern, more coffee.
So
Oh,
going
Wait,
into
1
it,
second. Hey, intern, more coffee.
there we go. You gotta let them know.
I'll get it. I'll get
Multi,
it
man.
eventually.
That's
Look.
We're
Disclaimer, everyone. Hang on.
it's the wrong button.
Yeah, wrong button. Disclaimer, everyone. I'm not a video guy.
Excellent.
Okay.
Now, perfect. That's the perfect intro, though, honestly, because think about it. So DB just said he's not a video guy. And for everybody just listening and you're in your car, your headphones or whatever, so we're filming today. But what he meant to say was that we're filming today and it's our first time running this rig. And he didn't make excuses as to why we can't make the videos or why we're not going to record ourselves. He just did it. You remove the excuses and you get to the action or the activity that we're talking about. And the topic today is you don't want it. And I'm not talking about us in the room. I'm talking about everybody listening. You, yes, you. Look in the mirror, pull out the selfie camera on your phone. You don't actually want it. And I'm going to call you out and I'm going to tell you why. Because we sit here and show up for the show, show up for our sessions, show up for emails and phone calls and text messages, all regarding the things that we do on a daily basis, which is making music and making the business of music. And obviously we have a lot of steak to eat from on this bone, but
It's a May one.
I'm gonna lob it up to the table. So what would you say to people starting out or with the intention to start out and they tell you, Junior, I can't wait. Like, I want to make music right now. Like, I'm so excited. And then you hit them up a week later, 2 weeks later, you talk to them and they're like, oh yeah, no, I'm still waiting. I'm still looking forward to it. It's like, where's that?
You really
where's all
don't
that
want it.
yeah.
If you're finding excuses not to do it, you really don't want it.
Where's
you know
all
what?
that excitement?
Yeah, of course. Look, when I met DB, right? I met him through a program I went through, right? So the reason why I'm here right now today with you guys, I get to be here in the studio, right? How I did it is because I was looking for excuses not to sign for me to go to school. Like, can I do it? I was trying to find excuses. And then at some point I decided, you know what? I'm done with excuses. Let's just do it. We got to at least try it, right? There's going to be complications. There's going to be obstacles along the way. There's going to be things that are going to throw you a left curveball, whatever. But there's always excuses why not to do. Even if you really want to do something, there's always excuses of why not to do it. So my mentality has been lately like, if I overthink it, if I really want to do it, let's just do it. If I overthink it, I'm not going to do it. And that's not only taking time, it puts stress on you. It gets scary because you start thinking about like finances, you start thinking about family, you start thinking about what if this is the wrong move? What if this is the right move, right? But if you really want to do it, do it. That's all you got to do. Not find excuses and all that. It's just do it.
DB, how long did you portray this in your head before actually moving on ordering stuff and setting it up and like, what was, if there was any lag time, what was the lag time for you? Like how long did you think of this and then from idea to completion just in this rig right now?
I mean, we thought about doing that. We actually built this room to do podcasts last year, at the end of the year, November, December kind of thing. Actually, it was around Christmas break because everybody was gone. I built the room. But the idea was to be able to film the podcast. Okay, we basically had 2 cameras, and they were just going to be on all the time. We were going to press record on the camera, and then give the client the raw footage, and they could go edit it if they wanted to, right? But instead of doing that, one of my students actually talked to us about this Blackmagic A10 Mini Pro, which is basically a video switcher. I had look, again, man, disclaimer, I know nothing about video. I know a camera takes a picture.
Yep.
That's pretty much my extent of even though I created a professional photographer in a child who now makes his living taking pictures as a professional photographer. I don't know where he got it. It wasn't me. So he didn't get that part from me. Shout out to moms.
Shout out.
A student brought this up to me and said, hey, man, you should check that thing out. And honestly, the minute I went to YouTube and looked at some training videos on what this thing can do, bro, I jumped. This thing is it's inexpensive. I'm not going to say it's cheap.
Never.
It's not cheap. It's inexpensive, but dude, it does some crazy stuff. I'm sure that what you see what we're doing right now. I'm probably barely touching the surface with this thing, man, and just it's nuts.
Yep.
But it was actually one of the students that brought this up to my attention, and so far, man, I'm happy with it. I can see the potential in a lot of aspects of what we do.
Yep.
That this thing's gonna make it's gonna pay for itself in a matter of minutes.
I'll jump in and say something that I learned from you, DB, is that you said something to me at one point that has stuck with me, and I use it pretty much on anything because it's true. You said to me to use bullshit and experience.
Yeah, we brought that up on the last podcast. Yeah,
I love that because we can always think of we can make it hard on ourselves, but instead of that, take the job, take whatever hey, let's go for it, right? Figure out things along the way,
sure,
to make it easier for you for that job, right?
Yeah. So I had no clue, man. I have no clue how this stuff works.
Yeah.
I had no clue what I needed to make this thing happen. And fortunately, like I said, I have my son's really good at this video stuff. He knows all the camera mounts and the tripods and the size of the bolt you need for the thing, whatever. You know what I mean?
Make it happen.
The lighting. He knows all about that stuff. And he said, he actually made me an Amazon list. Said, here, check these things out. And I just bought the list. I just said, all right, I probably need all that, so let me just get it. Of course, that 50-foot HDMI cable, bro, I don't know. I don't see a real reason for that, but, I got it.
Maybe one day you will.
If anybody needs to know that I got a 50-foot HDMI cable, it's in the house.
It's that big.
It's here.
It's
here it
that
is.
big.
Yeah, it's right here.
It's inexpensive if you want to rent it.
And I think that you touched on all the points perfectly. And the reason we're bringing this up, not because we want to make you feel like you're not doing enough or you're not doing it. If you're getting into your sessions at home, if you're building up your logic and you're putting stuff together on a regular basis, it's not necessarily you. It's just in the business of music on a consistent basis, we run into all kinds of people, and there's a lot of levels within the business as we've touched on before. But when we hear, someone wanting to either get started even on a new phase or level of what they're doing already, it's so anticlimactic to then check back on them. And of course, life happens, personal things come up, or, there's a lot of reasons why you get around to stuff eventually. But if you're really looking to get started in doing something, there's no excuse. And we're going to make it overly simplified and just say, do it. And what I mean by that is, famously we'll always hear, oh yeah, one day I'll get the right interface, or one day I'll get the right mic or the speakers, or there's such a long list. And just like DB said, he had somebody that knew what to get and he made him a short list. I'm sure there's 10 levels in each one of these objects that were purchased for the purpose of doing this. But you don't have to have the best of everything to get it done. And chances are, once you've done this for a long time, you can do great work with very minimal materials. Like you can start with the base of Logic or the base of Ableton and no plugins and still get a great mix.
Look,
or still get a great song.
To us engineers, we can have a $20,000 microphone. We're still not going to be satisfied.
Yep.
We want the other $10,000, $15,000 microphone.
Absolutely.
And the other software and the other.
100%.
We got so many tools already, and we don't know how to use those, and we want something more.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. We can work with everything we got.
Yeah.
Even stock plugins are great.
All right, so let me ask you this, though, Junior. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
The two main microphones that we use a main microphone in Studio B. It's always on. Now, by main microphone, I mean it's always up there.
I went and bought it.
Right? And so, yeah, I mean, you like it that much. You
I love
bought
it,
one.
yeah.
So that's cool. And let's go ahead and say that microphone is an Aventone CV12. Okay? I think they're retail $4.99 at Guitar Center today.
Yeah.
We'll put a link in the description down below in the YouTube video if anybody's interested and want to go look at it and see if there's anything else about it that they want to check out. But honestly, we here at the studio, we own a C800G by Sony, which are really rare now. I don't know if you guys know that, but they're getting harder to find, man. They stopped making them. Anyway, it's that in a mix, I mean, honestly, Junior, in a mix, I can't tell the difference between the CV12 or the Sony C800.
Yeah,
in a mix. If you listen to the raw files and you A/B them solo and by themselves, yeah, there's a slight difference.
Yeah.
But honestly, people, no excuse.
I've been rocking the Aventone's BB1.
Man.
Lately, I've been rocking the Aventone BB1.
The BB1 is their high-end by Aventone. We'll also we'll just link everything from Aventone.
Shout out to Aventone for making great mics
they're all right.
Stuff.
They're all right.
I mean, I love it. To be honest, my clients don't care that I'm using the 20 whatever in or the. They just love it. And that's what matters. And that the client is happy.
Highlighting the fact that the Sony C800, if anybody, a quick Google search has already proved to all of you that it's an expensive ass microphone and it's rare. And for a long time, even coming up in the studios that I was working at, everybody was like, well, if I had my choice, I'd have a C800. And everybody usually was around probably like the, I want to say it was like a Neumann U87 or something. Like that was where everybody kind of stopped. Like, well, I'm gonna settle, quote unquote, right, for the Neumann. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm yelling, and I mean, I don't say yelling lightly. I yell at people all the time. You can use any microphone. Get a clean signal. Just don't be plosive. Don't have too hot of a signal. Don't be peaking.
Even at home, like sometimes we make excuses, but a dynamic microphone, any dynamic microphone, 57, a 58, right? Just know how to use it is all that it is, right? You can use it here in the I've used 58s here, and they sound really good for the track, and it's all that matters. I mean, we're talking technical at this point, but it is true. But stop making the excuses.
We're highlighting the fact that it's not the technical. Yeah. That we're removing excuses. If we came to the studio and all we had was one mic, one interface, and not even a console, if we had to be in the box, we could still get it done.
Absolutely.
And that's just, everybody's like, well, I don't have a console. Well, I don't have this. I don't have that. It doesn't matter what you have or don't have.
Absolutely.
Like your journey, and this is important, your journey is not within the next 2 weeks or 6 weeks or however long it's going to take for your shipping to come from whatever, retailer of choice, etc. It has nothing to do with that. Like if you're going to be here for years, eventually you're going to get certain traits of certain things that you like more. You like how certain things work over others. There's 100 choices in interface, 100 choices in speaker, 100 choices in monitors, TVs, and you can set up. Technology's changed so much. You can do a lot with a lot of different things that you couldn't before. So much like DB exploring the idea in the world of video, I once saw regarding entrepreneurship and business that people have an idea for approximately 6 months or more, usually more, before they do anything about it. We're talking about business, and we're talking about business in the sense that this is not business like, oh, well, all you think about is making money. No, business has to do with minding your business and what improves you or your daily life on a consistent basis. Because what you do as a business, it's something that you're going to continuously try to improve upon. So if this is something that you're doing on a daily basis and you're having fun with it, let's say that whatever, you're a trust fund baby and you've got all kind of money, this is still your business. You're still trying to do this for the pleasure of others. You're trying to do it to put it out and impress people with your music. So care enough about it to start somewhere and remove the excuses. Start with a Windows 98 computer if you have to, but just do it is the point.
What? To all the singers out there, well, stop worrying about the microphones and stop worrying about the interfaces and all these effects. Worry more, I say, in my opinion, about how do you get better voice out of yourself? Like, how do you become a better singer? A better performer, because even though we're in the studio,
dare you?
No, it's true. It's true. Even in the studio,
singer feels attacked right now.
Good. I hope they get attacked. No, because I apply that to myself. When I go to YouTube, when I go to these forums like Reddit, and I search these forums for like engineering things, I'm there because I want to learn more than what I know. It's not that I suck at engineering. It's not that whatever it is, I just want to be better every time. You know what I mean? So as a singer, as a musician, as an engineer, producer, you just want to be better every time that you get in front of your console, in front of your DAW of choice or whatever it is, you know? So it does come from us being better than the equipment. That is for me is choice number one. I want a better singer, a better musician, be a better engineer. You know what I mean? So that I think is more important.
I love these students that we have. That the students that we have that. All right, so I interviewed a potential student the other day, a couple weeks ago, and he kept saying that he wants to get his certificate so he can start working, doing what he loves to do, which is recording and making music and making people sound good. But he kept saying that I have to wait, I have to get the certificate. I can't do anything until I get the certificate. Mm-hmm. It's like, bro, a piece of paper is not going to make you a good engineer. It's not going to make you a good producer. Oh, no, I have to have the certificate. No, you don't. What you have to do is start working and start doing stuff. You got to just start doing it. And get her done, as they say in the South.
100%. And that's something that's very, very popular even amongst people getting started in any kind of business. So it's not just specific or unique to music. It's like, well, I can't be a graphic designer until I get an online certificate or a certificate from a school. I can't be a photographer until I get certified. Certifications are every day losing value. Because every day people are exploiting the back end of that, which is learning from everywhere else. If you're only going to learn from one school or one instructor or one engineer, you're missing out on the rest of the world.
What these programs are certifying is that you learned the stuff. You learned what a compressor is.
You read the book and you took the test. Yeah.
But that doesn't make you an engineer, doesn't make you a singer. I mean, learning and actually being good because you worked at your craft is two different things. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll bring up Kobe because they asked him, what advice do you give these new players, right? And we're talking about basketball, it relates to this because his answer was, be curious. Just be curious. Why did he move that way? Why did he jump backwards shooting at that range? So when we apply it, like I apply it to my craft, how did he get that kick to sound that way and it's not interfering with all these questions have to be answered.
Mamba mentality.
Yeah, and it's absolutely, you have to be curious because the moment that you're not curious, you've basically given up. You have to be curious in any job, in any profession. And for us as artists, it's always evolving. It's always changing. It's always something new. So, I mean, it's very good to, be curious.
As a studio, I think we see a small percentage of the overall business. The business is huge. We're always going to be running in certain circles and people that we run into. But just in experience, Don, or DB, I'll ask you, so in your experience, if you had to put a pin on it, from people that you saw that were really gung-ho and excited to then kind of just coming around in the grapevine or the circles that they're basically just not doing pretty much anywhere near what they were trying to do or wanting to do, what percentage would you put on that? Like, what percentage would you say people go from excited to just not even interested anymore?
I mean, I've seen a lot of students over the years, and it's the percentage is quite high. That I think what it is, and this is just my opinion, I think what happens is the students come in with a grand idea of, I'm going to get a certificate and I'm going to be able to go out and I'm going to be an audio engineer. I'm going to be a producer.
Be rich.
Yeah, I'm going to be making music videos and all the girls and all the money. I'm going to have the cash and whatever. You know what I mean? And then they get here and then they start to see, because they're learning in a working studio environment.
Yeah.
And then they get to see what it takes to do this. And they freak out. And they're like, no, dude, I'm going back to the Starbucks job because it's easier. Honestly. And it's a bigger percentage than you think it is. I'm going to go ahead and say 70% plus.
Wow.
You know, of the students. It's pretty rare.
Sounds about right.
It's honestly pretty rare. Junior was one of my students, and Junior was one of the 3% probably, that went on to now make his living doing what he loves to do.
Absolutely.
It's really rare. And all you have to do is go do it.
Yeah.
You have to take the leap. You have to go do it. Look, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
But failure is
100%.
what makes you better.
You learn from it.
You only fail once at that thing.
You just made the entire show for saying that because
Absolutely.
Turn it off.
failure-
We're done.
failure
that mic.
is the Jenga block
Yeah.
to success.
Mm-hmm.
You have to fail. You have to have enough blocks to get that tall.
You
So
have
you have
enough-
to have
yeah.
enough fails to get that success.
I love that.
It's
I
just
love
like,
that. That's good.
People stop at the third one. They're like, "Yeah, man, I did this fourth song of mine and it was just trash, so I just gave up. Now
Sheesh.
I'm done." And I'm like, "So
Man.
wait, so do you have any interfaces or mics? Do you have anything I can use? Because I'll take it. I'll give you.
Hey, if you're
50
selling it real cheap because you need to pay rent,
I'll
you know,
give
let me
50
know,
cents
bro.
on the dollar. Like I'm
Yeah.
quick, because I know
Man.
people are got consoles, all kind of crazy stuff.
That's
I'm
true.
like,
That's
I'm
true.
like, damn, I'm really sorry to hear that. But if you need someone to sell it, just give
To
me a
our
call.
listeners that have
Let me know
failed.
if let me know if you're getting rid of anything.
I'm
you
with
know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
that's just.
I actually had a couple people reach out to me in the very beginning of the quarantine shutdown in like February, April kind of thing, right? And or March. And they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, let me know if you're thinking about selling anything cuz and I seriously thought about selling the Sony cuz I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I don't know if I'm going to use it anymore." And then somebody, I forget who it was, man, somebody said, "Bro, you might want to look that up and see how much it's worth. You might want to check into it because they stopped making it and it's don't sell it.
Yeah, don't sell it.
Don't sell it." So
Yeah.
I
And,
didn't
and
sell
that's
it.
a good point. I mean, DB and I were talking right before the show. I mean, there's a lot of ways to make money. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
if you're here for that, explore 10 other ways to make money before you land on this, because I can tell you right now it's not for you. I can tell you right now you don't want it. I can tell because you haven't touched anything audio related in the last 30 days, you don't fucking want it.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the
absolutely.
camera. You don't fucking want it, period. I know this. I can see through you. I don't even know who you are, but I can tell that you're not really with this shit. And that's okay because, look, to be a producer the way you see it on YouTube or the way you might have seen it back in the day on MTV, like that shit, it's very, very different. You have to be in the right place at the right time. Preparation, meeting opportunity is success, along with a lot of failing on the way there. So if you're not there for that and willing to basically be pissed off at yourself, you're mad at you when you suck. I get it.
Yeah.
I've been there. I don't know music theory the way I should. I don't play keys the way I want to, but I can improve these things. That's not
absolutely.
that's not an
Absolutely.
end. That's only the beginning of something. And if you haven't gone at least into it long enough to know that you have gotten a little bit better, then you really didn't want it to begin with.
Yeah, the failure comes, a true failure is when you give up.
You have
Falls
to stop.
and
exactly.
derails and all that's going to happen, but take that as an opportunity to learn from it, not to do it again, right? But don't be afraid to fail. We all fail. We all have failed in the past and stuff. We've learned from it and moved on. That's the difference. And we gotten better, but because we didn't stop. And if you really want it, you're not going to stop because it's hard. It's really hard.
You have to be willing to not be safe.
Absolutely.
Take
That's
a risk,
good one,
man.
yeah.
If you don't take a risk, you're going to go through life going, I
Get uncomfortable.
could have done it.
Yeah.
Get
Be very
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. A lot.
And we've said this before, right? Like
Yeah,
when you
we've
think
said it on the show
if I'm like what you've said it before. You said something about like if you have a safety net, that you have a job waiting. If this falls, you're gonna probably not be as successful, right? Because it's true. If you're always having that back, plan B, you're never gonna push through to plan A.
So devil's advocate, easy for you to say. How easy was it for you to say that?
I mean, to say it right now.
What was your real world?
When you switched over.
When did you
To
when did
this, to
you ditch the
engineering?
safety net? Yeah.
I took his advice. I just said
Sorry.
he wanted no he wanted
Sorry,
he said to
Carmen.
me, leave your day job. he said leave your day job
Sorry, little Johnny.
and just do it. And
You don't need those new shoes, buddy. You're okay.
dude, to be honest, my wife hasn't worked since last year, maybe a year and a half ago. And when I was working my day job, she was working as hard as I was. And somehow, because I mean, when I'm done here in the studio, I still go home and work. I wake up in the morning, I work. And then I come to the studio and work and work and work. I'm blessed that there's so much work and it's coming from everywhere. It hasn't been day one when I first jumped from my day job to this. Bro, I was broke. I mean, literally had no money.
Yeah.
Right? Living off of savings, anything I could. It has gotten better. Not to say I'm living the life I know I'm going to have. I know I'm going to have it. But it has gotten better because I've I just push.
But on the other side of that too, you're not as stressed.
Absolutely.
You're not as aggravated and frustrated with life.
Absolutely.
You're happier because you're doing something that you love to do, and sometimes people give you money for it. It's amazing.
You feel accomplished.
It's amazing.
That feeling
That
of
is
accomplishment.
amazing. That somebody sometimes. I think we've said this before in this show.
For
if any of our 6 listeners remember me saying it,
We lost one. We only have 5.
We're down to 5 because of COVID. Damn you, COVID.
He gave up.
Whatever. Anyway, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Y'all suck. Y'all suck. No, I was
We've
gonna.
said it before.
Yeah, we've said it before that this is it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's very
You
true.
can't just jump in, man, and expect people are gonna give you a bunch of money like right away. No,
Absolutely
Well,
not.
absolutely not.
Yeah, I think expectation management is how we can boil all this down so that people don't feel like we just came in here and shit on them and, ha ha ha, you guys suck and we're so much better. No, it's just understand what you're signing up for.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
We're
Understand.
definitely not better.
Well,
Than
we
Yeah.
encourage them. It's just be aware, be prepared, and if not prepared, get prepared.
Damn, bars.
Yeah.
Junior came in with the rhymes. He said, be aware, be prepared. What? Damn. I
should be a rapper.
Follow-ups
I
right
want him
there.
to be a
I want to
rapper now.
announce my start of my new career as a rapper.
Oh, there it is.
They calling me Lil Lilo.
Oh,
Lil
man.
Lil.
That's
Lil.
fire. That's
DJ
DJ Lil Lil.
That was
Now
amazing.
you're past the Lil point.
Yeah, no, I know.
I think once you pass 23 years old, you can't be
But
Lil
no,
anymore.
take this advices and to be honest, it's just work hard. It's all I can say. It's just work.
You said something that stood out so much. You leave the studio
Yeah.
and go home and work.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
the only way to do it.
blessing. Yeah, that's the blessing. I think a lot of times, especially now, if you came up and let's say that you're under the age of 20, chances are you've seen the studio very different from how we've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the studio from back in the day where it was like you can only be in there if you were a millionaire or if you were like a top artist or if you're a top engineer. Now, the access to a studio is very different. The purpose and positioning of that is very different. And now it's being applied specifically by people that actually get something out of it because now you're able to get in here and picture yourself doing it, but you have to have a vision. You have to have a vision of where you want to go, what you want to see yourself doing. So it's awesome to be in a studio,
Yeah.
but the work doesn't stop or start there. The work starts before, the work doesn't end.
Yeah.
So the studio is a part of it, but it's not everything. So you have to build the life and the cycle that work in and out of the studio. You have to always be working. If you're an artist, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you get into this studio to do your work because your
Yeah.
work is writing the song. Your work is coming up with shit. And if you can't do that at home, then find a co-writer and write at home or save it for the studio. But really, you shouldn't have to. It's not mandatory. Like you should be in the studio. You're going to feel so much better if you got something to go home with. Like if you get a part of a song or if you get, a bounce of something, it's going to feel so much better. Like there's no reason for you to come in here and leave the same way you came in.
Yeah. I mean, the
Do the
studio
work.
the studio is a beautiful experience. It's an energy, but it's all in your mind. It's all in your state of mind. You wake up, work. You go to the studio, work. You go home, have dinner, and then work. You know what I
And
mean?
if you want to come in here and just chill
Yeah.
and have us play you music or play you guys' instrumentals back to you, that's cool too. Because
Yeah,
we charge
hey.
the same. It doesn't matter. But,
it's all the same to me.
but damn, you can really walk away
Yeah.
with a song if you wanted to.
Yeah, no,
Do the
it's a
work.
beautiful thing to know that you do what you love. Things that like when I was a kid, I grew up in studios seeing engineers work and I grew up with my uncles being in studios. I wanted that life. And now to have the blessing of living that life, it's a blessing. It's
Wouldn't be
a dream come
possible
true.
without DB.
I don't think so.
DB.
I don't think so.
No, don't do
No,
that.
no,
I mean,
he was- I'll
don't,
say-
don't put that on me, man. That's a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? No, look, it's got nothing to do with me. Junior had the drive, and Junior had the work ethic to get her done.
I think it was
You know?
it was a team thing. I
You
think,
know what's really cool though?
Yeah.
And I've known you for what, 8-9 years
10
now?
years,
Yeah. So I've seen Junior grow. I've seen Junior get married. I've seen Junior have a baby with his wife.
Yeah.
I've also seen your wife work as hard as you do
absolutely
at her job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now, dude, you're making enough money to cover,
Yeah,
and Mama get to stay home with the baby.
That is
and
priceless.
that is priceless.
absolutely.
You guys can compromise and maybe not buy the new shoes this month because the new Jordans that just
still,
came out.
I still got the iPhone 6, bro.
But Johnny is the most important part of your life, man.
He is
and he is going to benefit from that immensely. You have no idea.
Yeah,
I did exactly that
before you even.
We did exactly that, and my child today is a grown-ass man living on his own. He's making his own investments. He's got his own house. He's got his own car. This kid, I don't have to worry about him.
That's good.
I don't talk to him. I don't talk to him every day, but I don't have to worry about him.
Yep.
He knows if he needs something, I'm right here. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
But
man.
that's because his mom, fortunately, his mom got to stay home with him every day because I busted my ass and I went out and made my living. The key word there is I made my living.
Yeah.
I didn't depend on anybody else to give me anything.
Here comes the zoomed out, mind blown portion of everything that we just said, which it goes back to build a life you want to live. Because randomly someone in a session yesterday said something like, oh, there's a quote going around that's like, I don't want to die at 25 and be buried at 70. I'm like, that was pretty wild. I'm a quote person. I haven't heard that one.
What did they say? I still don't understand.
I don't want to die at 25 and be buried at 70.
Oh, because you're living for somebody else.
You're not living your life.
You're doing somebody else's job.
That's
good.
You
got a 40-hour work week.
That's good.
This entire podcast, studio, everything that we do here, the classes that we teach, the people that we touch, the people that we reach with what we can give them as far as knowledge and experience, we are creating a reality we live in, which is getting to enjoy what we get up and do every day. This isn't, nobody's forcing us. And that's another thing, is that you cannot wait for people to tell you what it is that you need to be doing. Teachers and people that can mentor you, they're there as helps and bumpers and guides. But ultimately, it comes down to what you can convince yourself to do. Can you get yourself up every day and just open Logic or open Pro Tools or open something and start it up and then realize it's wrong and then do it better and then do it better? That's really the question.
My dad was hard on me when I was a kid. I know we probably passed the point, but the time. But he was hard on me when I was a kid. But I remember things he would tell me. Like he once told me, when you were born by yourself, with nobody else. When you die by yourself. And what he's trying to say is that you make everything happen for yourself. 100%. Don't expect somebody else to just come and hand you things. Make it happen.
It's not gonna happen.
You know what I mean? It's all on you, guy.
Not here.
Yeah. All right. Closing statements, anyone?
Man.
That was that.
Johnny got nothing to say. What's
Johnny's wisdom. Come on, bro.
Johnny Wisdom. The name is Wisdom.
Drinking your sparkling water.
I'll say that. I mean, make the life you want to live. Period.
Bam.
Junior?
Mic drop. Boom.
Junior?
Lakers go win big tonight.
On another note, for us non-basketball fellas, we got NFL back tonight.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. We out.
Hey.
Mamba.